Parlays and player props are back. It's week 11 of the NFL season. Today, I got 3 player props for you all and 1 sleeper entry at the end of the video. What's going on? My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's dominate on Sunday. As always, let me know your favorite picks down below in the comments. And these aren't just my only picks for Sunday. Not only will we have our long shot parlay video posted late on Saturday evening, we also posted a video on Friday evening with 3 player props, including my 2 favorite picks for the weekend. 2 1.5 unit plays. Definitely go check that out. I really like the card we cooked up. We got 6 total plays, 3 in this video and 3 in the video post on Friday. I'll link it at the top of the description. Go check it out after this one. I'll also link the video at the end of this one where you can just click on the button and boom, you'll be taken right to it. But without further ado, let's dive into the picks. And my favorite pick of the weekend is the free square that Sleeper is given to all new users, which could be you. They're giving Josh Dobbs free square just to get 1 yard on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, Josh Dobbs is a beast, man. He's been cooking for the Vikings and cooking all year for the Cardinals too. But Josh Dobbs, he's getting 1 yard. And the best part about Sleeper is if you sign up using our code COS, not only will you get that free square, which is only for new users, you also get a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit $20, now you got $40. Deposit $50, now you get $100. Deposit $100, now you got $200. It's free money. Take advantage of it, and you will get that free square for Josh Dobbs to use. Later on in this video, I'll talk about my Sleeper entry, including 3 of the props that I'm about to talk about today. But without further ado, let's dive into the picks. The first one is going to be a guy on a team that is in desperate need of a big win this weekend. His name's Josh Allen. I like his over 30.5 rushing yards, minus 110 on Bet365. Now, rushing probably wasn't the number that you would have, or prop you would have thought I would say for Josh Allen. A lot of people might say, take him to throw an interception. Yeah, that's like minus 160 these days. And while he probably throws a pick against the New York Jets, what I do know is Josh Allen in this Bills offense is on the hot seat. So much so that, well, their offensive coordinator got fired after last week's game. And honestly, I think they have to go back to doing what Josh Allen does best, and that's extending plays and using his feet. They don't design any runs for it. I'm not saying they run Josh Allen into the ground, but this is a must-win game. If they lose this game, their playoff hopes are pretty much in jeopardy here against the New York Jets. So they have to win this game, and they are favored to win. But I think they're going to lean on the ground game and lead on Josh Allen to just extend plays. And instead of saying, hey, Josh, why don't you try to fit one of those tight passes into a tight window, why don't you go run the football and do what you do best, which is breaking tackles, making plays with his feet. And we've seen him do that in his whole career against the New York Jets. In 9 career games, he's over this line in 8 of those 9 against the New York Jets. And he's absolutely destroyed it these last 4 matchups with 63, 86, 47, and 36 rushing yards earlier this season. Like Josh Allen, we know he's capable of going out there, breaking tackles. He's not really a guy that slides a ton, which is kind of what, if you're going to take a rushing yards prop, you can't be too mad if the guy's not sliding, giving up extra yards. He's trying to run over some people. And it's just a great matchup against the New York Jets, who give up a lot of rushing yards to opposing QBs. Just look at the last few weeks and really this season. Tyrod Taylor a few weeks ago, 33 rushing yards versus the Jets. You look at the guys that followed him were Aiden O'Connell and Justin Herbert. 2 guys that don't really run the football a ton. Justin Herbert still hit his over in rushing yards though himself. And then before that, you saw Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts all have 45 yards or more against the Jets team. Now, I think this line, we've seen, Josh Allen's rushing yards line creep up to 40.5, but now they've kind of dumped it down to 30.5. I think this is a spot I have to dive right into. Like I said, 36 rushing yards in week 1 against the New York Jets, threw 3 interceptions in that game. They obviously lost that win. Look, in my opinion, he's got to stop trying to fit the ball into tight windows and just use his legs. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some designed runs as well for him. Try to open up this offense because they obviously don't really have, the skill position maker. They have Stephon Diggs, but Gabe Davis, I love him, but I just don't trust him as a wide receiver too. I think they lean on the ground game a little bit more with the new offensive coordinator. And I really like Josh Allen on Sunday to get 31 rushing yards against my New York Jets. Give me the over 30.5. And I honestly, if you go back to our Friday video, I have another player prop on the Jets side in that one, so go check out that. But my next pick is going to be a guy that had a slow start to the season, but he's been coming on as of late. His name's Jamir Gibbs of the Detroit Lions, over 25.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. I considered the rushing plus receiving yards here, but in my opinion, this is a much better matchup for receiving yards than it is for rushing yards, as him and the Lions are at home taking on the Chicago Bears. And on a similar wavelength to the prop that we took in the Friday's evening video for another running back to get receiving yards, this is a great matchup for Gibbs on Sunday versus the Broncos. We saw versus the Bears last week. David Montgomery returned. Gibbs still had a big workload, 14 carries for 77 yards, but most importantly, 3 receptions, 5 targets for 35 yards. They were finding ways to get the ball in his hands, and that's all we can really ask for. And like I said, this is a primetime matchup against the Chicago Bears, a team that is just getting destroyed by running backs out of the backfield. Now, Chicago Bears play notoriously a ton of cover 2. They put their 2 safeties back. They normally play pretty soft, and they kind of just want to beat you, make you throw underneath against them. And that leads to a lot of targets to running backs this season. The Bears allowed 60 receptions to running backs, the third most. But the big kicker, 615 receiving yards to running backs this season. That is the most. The next closest is the Buffalo Bills at 490. Add on top of that, Chicago, fewest rushing yards allowed per attempt. So sure, this Lions team will probably, this is one of the more formidable attacks you can face in the NFL. They got David Montgomery, they got Jamir Gibbs, that two-man backfield. That is going to be tough to stop. But the Bears have been able to stop pretty much everyone this season. And I'm not saying they stopped the Lions attack, but maybe they lean on the pass a little bit more in a very advantageous passing matchup at home. There's no weather concerns here really. So I really like Jamir Gibbs on Sunday. I think he has a great matchup out of the backfield, over 25.5 receiving yards. I think he has a great spot to back him. He could honestly hit that over in just one catch, which he did it nearly last week with the 24-yarder. Jamir Gibbs is so explosive with the ball in his hands. I think they find a way to dump it off to him, let him do his thing. And Jamir Gibbs, good luck tackling him at space. He's electric. So I love Jamir Gibbs over in receiving yards. So my third and final pick of this video before we talk about a sleeper entry will be this guy. I probably won't be a very popular play. Josh Jacobs of the Las Vegas Raiders, over 16.5 rush attempts, minus 104 on Caesars. Now, I would play this at 17.5, but I don't really see the line going up there. I think it finishes at 16.5, and I think this is a great spot to back him. And honestly, if this game were not a 13-point spread with the Raiders being underdogs, this line's probably sitting at 20.5. We're getting a huge discount given that the spread indicates, hey, they might be trailing in this game. And God forbid, if the Raiders are somehow leading or only down a touchdown in this game, this might be our easiest win of the weekend because look, if they're even close in this game, I think this is a no-sweat winner. This line shouldn't be 16.5 if the game's within 7 points. But even if the game is a blowout, as long as it's not a 50-point blowout where the Raiders give up 70 points, like the Broncos did a few, early on in the season, I think they had a chance in Miami. I think they're going to lean on the ground game. The last thing the Raiders want to do is get into a shootout against the Dolphins because I'll let you know, if this is a shootout, the Raiders will not be winning that. So I think they want to make this game ugly. And under Antonio Pierce, their new head coach, they're 2-0. And that's exactly what they've done. Made the games ugly. Josh Jacobs, 27 and 26 rushing attempts. Now, the other Raiders running backs really not getting a lot of work. They only saw one combined carry last week outside of Josh Jacobs and 6 the week prior. So look, they're giving the Josh Jacobs the bulk of the workload out of the backfield in those carries. And I think you can have success running the ball against the Dolphins. Now, their secondary is hit or miss, but I don't trust Aiden O'Connell. I don't think the Raiders do either. I think they want to try to get them into second and short, third and short, and that's where they want Aiden O'Connell to kind of work from. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Raiders try to get those long drives, kind of keep that Dolphins offense off the field. That's what we've seen teams try to do against them. And well, sure, the Dolphins have blown out their fair share of teams this season. Here's a list of all the running backs combined total rush attempts versus Miami this season. I'm not going to read them out. You saw the Chiefs, a team that notoriously throws the ball a ton. They had 18, the Patriots had 17, but 23, 24, 21, 22, 19, 20, 32 rush attempts. So each team is getting real close to having 20 plus rush attempts against the Dolphins. And I'm not saying that the Raiders get 20 plus rush attempts from the running backs here, but if they do, probably a very good chance that Josh Jacobs handles a large majority of them. Heck, a lot of these teams don't really run the ball a ton. When the Patriots get down, they're just throwing short passes all game. I think that if this game, the only way this loses, in my opinion, is if somehow, well, not somehow, the Dolphins easily could smoke the Raiders, but I like what they've seen out of them under Antonio Pierce. I think they keep this game within reasonable distance. Heck, the Dolphins can pull away in the fourth, but if this game is close within the first 3 quarters, I'm pretty confident Josh Jacobs will see 17 plus rush attempts. They just love to give him the rock. If they're somehow leading in this game, this will be easy to get as long as he doesn't get injured. I really like Josh Jacobs on Sunday, over 16.5 rushing attempts, and that kind of segues into our sleeper entry where I'm not taking his rush attempts, I'm taking his rushing yards in this 3-leg sleeper entry where we're trying to turn $30 into $168. If it does hit, we're giving away $100. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel. Yeah. It's that easy. Just subscribe and you have a chance to win $100 if this parlay hits. And I certainly think we got a chance. We got Josh Allen and Gibbs in there. And then Josh Jacobs pivoted to his rushing yards instead of the rush attempts. Obviously, they kind of go hand in hand. You can take the rushing yards if you want. I just rather count on the attempts. But obviously, probably both are going to cash or not cash, if you will. But those are my 3 favorite picks. Oh, and by the way, Sleeper has that free square for Josh Dobbs to get 1 yard. And you also make sure if you sign up and want to tail me, use our code COS so you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Those are my 3 favorite picks of the weekend. Like I said at the top of the video, we posted a video on Friday evening and included 3 more player props, including my 2 biggest plays, both 1.5 units, and I absolutely love. I'll link the video somewhere over here, probably right here. Go click it. Go see what my favorite picks for Sunday are, my last 3 picks, technically my first 3, whatever. You get what I mean. When our NFL long shot video is live, where we try to turn $10 into $1,000, that video will be linked a little bit below here, over here. Check that video out. It's returning after a couple weeks hiatus because we've just been a little bit busy with other stuff. My name's Austin. Let's have a dominant Sunday. Let's go 6-0. We're due some good luck to come our way. We just are. And I promise you we're going to get that good luck the rest of the season. My name's Austin, signing out. See you in the next one. Peace.